The sleaze suit claimed that Sheen entered into a nefarious plot designed to lure plaintiffs into a luxurious hotel room to serve his I can't say that word. Prurient desires. Sensationally, it was alleged that Sheen... Say what?
I said perverted.
No, it's prurient.
Let me say it. Can I, where's a point to the word? Right.
Artists Exchange.
The Artists Exchange. The Artists Exchange. The Artists Exchange.
The Artists Exchange.
The Artists Exchange Live.
The Artists Exchange. The Artists Exchange.
The Artists Exchange.
Starts now. I don't mind. I'm grown. We're consenting adults.
Yes.
That's who he is. I dare you.
Nah.
I dare you.
Wish I had taken a shot like that. That sounds like fun.
Just do a blooper reel. Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. Throughout the show today, we are celebrating my celebrity crush, Miss Fantasia Barrino. So we'll be doing quite a few, just a little snippets of who she is. So I really appreciate who she is. She has an album that is dropping today. So therefore, I want to celebrate who she is. I've been a fan since I first saw her perform on American Got Talent, American Idol.
Yes, American Idol.
So I really am a fan of hers. And her third full album is dropping today. So definitely go get it if you want it. You can get a song, get the whole thing. We have options now in life. So definitely get that. So shout out first to our sponsors, True to You Entertainment. Go to their website, True to You. That's TRU, the number 2, the letter U, entertainment.weebly, WEEEEEBL.com. And check out their latest artist, Chink_OTR. Her new album has dropped already, but definitely check it out on their website. Miss Chink_OTR. You can find her on Instagram, Spinrilla, SoundCloud, and YouTube. So definitely check her out. Also, the Fashion Umbrella. They are doing an honors society lunching on October the 15th. It's Emerging Artists series for 2016. A number of the young people. We actually had one of her emerging artists with us today. Well, not today. He's one of our new engineers coming up, Mr. Eric Way. So shout him out. That's the fashionumbrella.org. Definitely hit them up. It's going to be on October the 15th. An awesome award ceremony that spotlights young people who have a passion and show promise in the arts and the STEM programs. So definitely hit them up. We'll put more information about them, both True to You Entertainment and the Fashion Umbrella, on our fan page. Another big thing for me, I don't know which, I want to go to the movies. I was promised a date this weekend and it was not what I thought it was going to be. But it's cool.
See, you the second person had to talk about a bad date. Y'all, listen. Do not pass go. Do not collect $100. Just keep it moving.
No, I mean, I'm not mad. It wasn't my fault. But two movies that I definitely want to go to see. Ab Fab, the Absolutely Fabulous, has turned its long-running English. I want to say English because it's a general international show. Has international appeal. They've definitely turned it into a movie. If you're not a fan, I'm Absolutely Fabulous. I tell you to go to YouTube and check out any of their shows. The show hasn't been on for a number of years now, but it's in repeat. And I believe now it's on Netflix, Hulu, and of course you can find it on YouTube as well. But it's a hilarious mini series, and well, not a mini, it's a full sitcom, but it's over in is out of England. These two awesomely talented women star in it, and they are. It's hilarious. It's just, you just look it up. I'm gonna tell you, go to YouTube, look up "Absolutely Fabulous." These two white ladies will keep you in stitches. So definitely check them out. The movie came out last Friday, but I have yet to go see it. But I'm going to take myself to the movies this Sunday and see it. Or I'm torn between, do I want to see that or Ghostbusters?
I'd love to see Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go by yourself, you give me a call. I love going to the movies, and I can never get anyone to go with me because I'll say I want to go to the movies, and then my husband's like, "Oh, that's cool. Video games." It's like,
Right. Well, I'll definitely call you because I want to go to the movies. I have a good situation about me because I live in Charles Village, so Charles Theater is right down the street from me. But they play mainly like independent films that you've probably seen just on cable. But I'll go there every now and again.
Okay.
But sometimes you want to see something that's a blockbuster.
Yes.
And I definitely am torn. I think you would like Ab Fab. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Mm-mm.
It's one of those highbrow English comedies.
I love that kind of stuff.
It is, but this one is hilarious. They are both. Patsy is this drunk model-esque. She used to be a model. She drinks. She just drinks. She's done every drug known to man. They're kind of like the Laverne and Shirley English meets English culture, and it's funny.
Okay.
Like this, their antics alone. So the fact that they made this into a movie. Totally
All right, I'm definitely gonna check out Ab Fab.
Yeah, you gonna be addicted. I'm telling you.
I love good TV. I love good British TV, especially.
Like, Are You Being Served? Shows like that. It's another one. It's kind of like a the stories, like what our stories would be, our soap operas would be, but it takes place in like a retirement home, and it's just old
that
English.
Is funny. That
but it's so
funny.
It's intelligent humor. It's highbrow humor. You don't have to think but too much, but it's just that antics, like Laverne and Shirley or Lucy and
Ethel.
Yeah, Ethel is that type of. What are we gonna get into today? And these two, they like the other. I can't remember the main character who actually wrote the series. She's like a PR person going wild. And it's just, I'll let you watch it. You got to watch some of the episodes.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where you can watch it. You have to start from the beginning. You can watch it at any point. So it's like situation comedy. You don't have to start from the beginning.
Right.
But then you'll want to keep watching it because her daughter, the young lady that plays the daughter, like she's like so super like nerdy and such a contrast between her mother and her friend. It's funny. So go watch it. It's out in theaters now. Ghostbusters, I definitely want to see it because I was a fan of the original Ghostbusters. And I love most of the ladies, with the exception of I can't remember her name, but she's also on Saturday Night Live. I'm not really as familiar with her, but all the other ladies, McCarthy, she was, they did Bridesmaids together. Them two together are hilarious. Leslie Jones, hysterical. And then the fourth young lady, she's funny, but I've only seen her like episodes of Saturday Night Live, and I vowed to never watch that again.
Aww.
So I haven't really seen her as much. But this is her first like full feature movie.
Why don't you want to watch what you call it again?
One, because I felt like they just added these black characters. And mind you, they've had black stars before on there. Mm-hmm. But it was just big thing about it not being enough. And then they just hired all these people out of the blue. And I'm quite sure like Leslie contributes Chris Rock to helping her get on the show. And speaking to Brian Michaels to, give her a chance. But she doesn't fit. Like to me, it doesn't fit her. And you chose her because a star told you like she's good. She's good.
Yeah, she is, and not just a star, but it's one of those things. Saturday Night Live is kind of interesting because for me, and And there are people who will say that you can over romanticize the Belushi era, but for me, there's a difference between a comedic actor and an actor who has good comedic timing.
Him, Eddie Murphy.
Right. So for me, it's always funnier when you have a real comedian out there. And she, in my opinion, is a comedic actor. She's got good timing. I don't think she's a comedian. She's not. Her funny is not on purpose. It's just a natural part of who she is.
Right.
So she's got naturally good timing. But I don't think she's funny on purpose. And there are a lot of people aren't funny. Will Ferrell is not funny on purpose. His stand-up is horrible.
Yeah.
But he's so funny in a movie because he goes hard in his characters and he takes every one of them seriously. And Leslie does the same thing. She takes her characters seriously. She plays a person who believes in something on stage.
So that takes me to the Actors Playground. Speaking of acting.
Yeah.
Take us to the Actors Playground. This last one was with featured Kyle Jackson, who did a great job.
Shouts out to Kyle. Kyle, you don't know this, but I took video of you doing your Romeo monologue and posted it to my Instagram. If I could tag you, I would. I don't know where you are. If you're on
Oscillation.
Yes, I don't know. I'm not. So I post if you'd like. I'm Big Mama Ama. You can easily find me. You don't have to pull out a thesaurus to figure out. But there are lots of people.
I will take you through the alphabet.
Right.
And remember his name.
People love you. You got mad props. You got mad props from that. You make me want to do it. Actually, I kind of want to learn the monologue and do it myself. Shoot, I love doing monologues that I'm not supposed to.
that's the fun in it. And
yes.
I wish more of the educational and the teachers and professors that are in charge of actors and people who want to be actors realize that, because the moment the educational realm embraces that, these actors will go out into a world and feel courageous enough and without any fear or hesitation and go into audition with these things, and they will often change the mind of the writers and directors and producers and who can play what. It starts with the academic realm.
Yes, and it's one of my favorite things about Cohesion Theater is that every time they do a play, they're looking at it from a perspective no one else has.
Right.
So, and they're not the only theater company that does that. Annex also does that. They decide, okay, if we're going to do this, how can we do it in a way no one else has? And they give the director that freedom, because I think more times those two companies rely on who their directors are and their perspective. It's not like this is what we do. Cohesion, remember when Brad was here, he said the whole point of that theater company is to put women in roles they wouldn't normally be in, and to put people in roles they wouldn't normally be in, whoever those people may be. And I guess I've been cast by Brad on more than one occasion, so I know that he definitely looks at the actor and not at the part.
Right. Kaumba did a show with Cohesion, but we haven't officially done a Cohesion show, but I watched them audition for 2 of their plays while we were in the process of it doing the show that we did, and it was really interesting to see that. And I really say it will start with academic theater and trickle down to community and regional theater, which will then bust the whole system up, because you cannot continue to force feed us images that don't represent me. Specifically women and men in roles. Most of the men are these tall, buff, lighter skinned men who are often not the best actors.
Amen.
I'm not saying all of them, but I'm just saying, don't always give us a real perspective of who we are. And art is supposed to reflect life and imitate life, and not, continue perpetuating the stereotypes that are already out there. So academic professors, if you're listening, it starts with you. Because if I don't feel comfortable going out into a world with a monologue that isn't fit for me, I'll never, ever achieve things beyond who I am. I'll always play. And I've heard it so many times about myself and other people in theater. You should stick to... This is what
fits you.
Yeah.
No, bump that. I'm not an actor if I can't be anybody.
That's the whole point of an actor, right? To be able to be anybody. And the argument is always, you're not believable.
What does that even mean?
It doesn't mean anything. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BExposedRadio.com. We'll be right back.
You're struggling with your mortgage. You think about it. You don't do anything but think about it.
What are we going to do if we lose the house? Where are we going to go?
At work.
I can't let anybody find out. I'm so embarrassed.
At dinner.
How can I tell the kids? It's going to wreck their lives.
And at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get through this. What's going to happen to us?
It's time to stop thinking. It's time to start dialing. Call 1-888-995-HOPE for a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options.
I'm all alone.
No, you're not. We've helped over 1 million homeowners, and we want to help you. And now there are more ways to help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
The forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Yeah, hon. Stephen, what is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org.
This flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
So we're going to get a little bit into the album with Miss Amira and learn the basis of it, the Banji soul of it all.
Yes.
So let us know, first of all, what is Banji soul?
Banji soul is basically just real. It's real soul. It's real. It's not cut down. It's not watered down. It's, you know, how as hot as it came off of my mind and my heart. That's what it is. And a lot of the times I get a little tangy, banji, ratchet, whatever, how you like to put it, classify it. But I like to say banji, because I'm classy.
Banji is a little classy.
It's a little classy. That's got your pinky up.
Right.
You got your pinky up with that.
Okay, we got to keep the bees, the bougie, the banji.
Yeah.
Right.
So she's created her own lane, Banji soul. So let us know.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. We're just continuing it, going on, even though I didn't hear the music that I requested, but it's cool. We have another song that I want to play. It's from her album, The Definition Of. She did an interview on Good Morning America. That's how I know she's doing it. Like, they're looking at her. She's awesome. She's so poised, so just put together nowadays. I love Fantasia. So we're going to play another one of her clips. I'm not even going to say the name of the song. I'm just going
out on Friday called The Definition Of. Here is Fantasia with I Made It.
Yeah. Listen.
I just made it through the storm and the rain. So much heartache, pressure, so much pain. I've been broken into pieces, maybe more. Yeah. And some nights I made my bed right on the floor. Yeah. The enemy really tried to take me out. Yeah. Hit me with his best and knock me down. Yeah. But I'm still standing after all I've been through. Yeah. I survived it all and it's because of you. Whoa, hey, hey. I made it, y'all. Still standing. If you made it through some things right now, if you're watching, come on, get with us. Sound real good, boy. Listen. I remember all those days I walked in shame. Only recognized for all of my mistakes. Sometimes I thought they would, but they walked out the door. Swear I thought my heart can take no more. Lisa, but you're the only one that never left me. Yeah. When everybody else just didn't care. You're the only one that really loved me. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Come on, put your hands together like this. I made it, yeah. I made it through the storm and through the rain. Anybody ever been through some things? Oh, honey, thank you for never leaving me, Lord Jesus. Come on, put your hands together like this. Everybody inside, let me see you right. No matter what you're going through, you see you can make it through. you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I thank you. Cause I made it. I made it.
From her newest album, The Definition Of. It drops today. Definitely go out and support our artists. I know financially everybody can't do it, but listen to their music, share, like, all that stuff. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BExposedRadio.com with Angela Bassett's DNC speech when we return.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement.
Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know you're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education, brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BExposedRadio.com.
So, you know how you round people who really can sing? And they always like, oh, I don't know if it's this time. That's what these, well, at least these two over here are giving me right now. It's not the time, you know. It should be 78.5 degrees in here.
0.25.
So they're going to share a little bit, just a little taste to get you interested, to get you tingling this morning.
Come on in here.
Share a little of that Banji soul with us.
Stand behind her.
Okay. Well, y'all singing, y'all might.
Yeah, y'all can sing.
Okay, so this is called What I Thought. It's also on the album.
Don't hold back.
Okay. Y'all ready? You ready, B? Okay. I see the lights pouring out your face. No, you can't hide. I see them clear as day. I'm growing tired of playing these games. You say I'm tripping. Well, get up on this plane now, 'cause I'm pulling out with you.
or not? Are you going crazy or too damn lazy? We ain't skipping through no daisies. This wasn't my fantasy. This ain't what I thought. And this ain't what I want.
I told y'all wasn't ready. The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artists, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. That was, I can't remember the name of that song. Even Angels. I think that was Even Angels by Fantasia. I don't know why I'm such a fan. Since the very beginning. But this segment, we're going to talk about the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, which I've never been able to watch the entire thing. And I think I did a good job at watching most of it this time. They had some interesting individuals that spoke, one being Angela Bassett. And we're going to play a clip. She spoke on the shooting in Charleston and the devastation that the lack of gun control in this country has had on our citizens. So here goes.
Please welcome Angela Bassett.
Thank you. Thank you. They were gathered to pray. He walked in, an outsider, a stranger, and they welcomed him. But then he opened fire. He stole their lives. Reverend Clementa Pinckney, Cynthia Hurd, Sharonda Coleman Singleton, Tywanza Sanders, Myra Thompson, Ethel Lee Lance, Susie Jackson, Daniel Simmons, DePayne Middleton Doctor. We say their names, but that is not enough, is it? Since the massacre at Charleston's Emmanuel AME Church, more lives have been destroyed by gun violence, and hatred still threatens to tear us apart. After Charleston, Hillary Clinton challenged all of us to turn our grief into action, and we have to do that. Still, there are days when it feels like our bodies and our minds are under too much pressure. Then I remember that we have souls too, and I thank God that our souls are on fire. I visited Charleston this year, and I can tell you that that city's soul is on fire. That soul burns with resilience. It fuels their resistance. It brought down the Confederate flag, and it brings the Charleston community closer together every day. Now, we are honored to have Charleston survivors, Felicia Sanders and Polly Shepard, here with us tonight. Please join me in welcoming them.
Good evening. My son last words were, "We mean you no harm." Tawanza, my hero. 2 days later, I forgave the shooter who murdered him. Hate destroys those who harbor it. I refuse to let hate destroy me. So, I have asked, how was he able to purchase the gun he used to kill so many? After that fateful day, Hillary Clinton called on lawmakers to close the Charleston loophole. Because of the loophole, even though the shooter had an arrest record, when it didn't surface and 3 days passed, he could still buy that gun. No one should feel what I've seen. No one should feel how we feel, how we suffered. The Bible tells us that if we humble ourselves, pray, and turn from our wicked ways, God will forgive us and heal our land. Let us heed God's word, and in turn, may God heal our nation.
Amen. To heal, we must forgive. That's what I've learned this past year. The shooter in Charleston had hate in his heart. The shooter in Orlando had hate in his heart. And the shooter in Dallas did too. So much hate, too much. But as scripture says, love never fails. So I choose love. And in this election, I choose Hillary Clinton. Hillary was in South Carolina the day before the shooting. And in the days that followed, she talked about the hatred in our nation, the racism, the injustice. She said that we can't hide from these truths. She called on us to name them and own them and then change them. Together, we can fight for that change. Together, we can heal. Together, we can love. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Art Exchange Radio Show here live on BExposedRadio.com. Call in 410-702-5657, or you can text in at 443-642-9403. Let us know how you feel. If you watched the DNC conference, the Democratic National Conference, let us know how you feel. There are people who are on the fence about whether Hillary should be or we should choose Bernie, but you still have that right. Write him in, but just know in writing Bernie in, you're actually taking votes from Hillary that could actually possibly make Trump win. So just know in trying to...
I have conceded defeat.
But it's not defeat. It is. He's going to be in her cabinet. It's not, without any question, he's going to be an effective member of her cabinet. And it's certain individuals I don't think he was right to be president. I think because he's more in tune with people, he needs to be in a position where he's directly connected to the things that affect people and the change that needs to happen. And being president, I don't think that's the position that he should have had. That's just my opinion.
Perhaps.
And it's crazy to me when not everything is a conspiracy to me, but I see that there's a lot of room for conspiracy, and I don't believe that she stole this from Bernie. I don't feel as though she cheated her way. Like, this deception thing is following her, and it's being fueled by the main people who don't want her in office.
But she's always been a liar. We've caught her in more than one lie over the last 40 years that she's been in the limelight.
What lies have she told? What lies have she told?
They got caught with the whatever that gate scandal was. They got caught before he became president. They got caught up in some scandal when he was governor, where they were, oh yeah, we were taking money money we probably shouldn't have been taking. Like they're kind of crooked. They're not.
I asked you, it's the question. Joy Behar from The View. People ask me why I watch The View, and I like the funny commentary. If you have never voted for somebody who wasn't a liar, you must be at least 12 years old, because every person you voted for has told a lie in their life. I don't believe that she's sparkling clean. I don't believe she's this ogre and this Grinch that people make her out to be. I think she's the most qualified person. Had Hillary been a man, I do not think a lot of this stuff would have even been a question. This whole idea about the emails, it would not have been a question. They've already said time and time again, nothing happened other than she used her private server to do official work and vice versa. Outside of that, but they also said the same thing about Condoleezza Rice and what's his name? Colin Powell. They did the same thing, but because they're not running, it's not an issue. Now they're bringing up the issue of their foundation and how they're getting all these tax breaks and loopholes for doing what it is that they do. Now, it's obvious who I'm going to vote for, but I don't believe it. I don't believe the hype. I think a lot of this stuff is you can spin anything. You can put anything into the media or put anything on social media and people eat it up because they want to believe it. They want to believe that she's this crook, just like they wanted to believe that Obama was this crook. And I just don't buy into it. I believe she's the perfect person for this job. She's the most qualified out of anybody who is running right now.
Yes.
Right. I do believe it. I believe everybody that's running.
I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. My thing is that we had an opportunity to vote somebody else in, and it is now confirmed that the Democratic Party worked together to make Hillary the front runner. Period.
And I don't. But what is wrong with that?
Because
isn't that how it always works?
Unfortunately,
but you can't change the rules when the person you wanted to win didn't win. Because had Bernie done it, you'd be like, well, he was the most qualified. It would have been he was the most qualified, but he didn't win, and that's what the conference is supposed to be. They're supposed to elect the person that they feel best represents their party. That's why we should have more parties other than Democratic and Republican.
Absolutely.
So everybody gets a fair chance.
But the more actual parties you have, the less control those who are in power have. Because there's more marbles, more variables.
And the reason why we don't see more the Green Party, we actually got to meet, Monny got to meet the Green Party representative for the presidency, but you don't hear about them because they get shut out because the people who run the debate,
media.
No, not even the media, but the debate itself, the televised debates are owned by the Republican and Democratic parties.
Right.
They control that. So of course you're not going to see people who aren't Democratic or Republican a part of those debates.
Right.
But going forward, there were a list of interesting people who spoke at the convention. Angela Bassett just stuck out to me the most because she actually brought two of the survivors of the Charleston, North Carolina shooting on with her. Also, Michelle Obama, she spoke. The most significant thing about her entire speech was the fact that she said this in a lot of other interviews and speeches that she's given, that she has been aware, she's made her children aware that they sleep in beds in a house that was built by slaves. And that was the most, she said a lot of great things about Hillary, her husband, about this election, how important it is. But that's the thing that stuck out to me the most. And we're going to touch on that in the next segment, but I'll go next to Barack himself, who spoke and he's just one of those people who can just speak and just give you so much hope about the mess that you may find yourself
charismatic.
in. He's so charismatic, and that doesn't take anything away from his professionalism or his intelligence, but he makes you want to listen to him. Just like Bill Clinton, he spoke and he just made you want to listen. But instead of Barack opened up, our president opened up with, of course, all the things he's been able to accomplish, but he quickly switched over and began to speak on Hillary and why she is the best candidate for this job and how prepared she is and how much he endorses. And I think that says a lot about who he is, because I don't think he would have dug it so deep had he not truly believed it. That's just what I get from him. If he didn't really believe that she's going to continue on the legacy that he's opened the door, I don't think he would really support her as much as he has. I just don't. He wouldn't have spread it on. I think his speech would have been about what he's been able to do. I think that's what he would have, because he's very diplomatic and very presidential, so he would have definitely made the most out of all that time that he got. But I want you guys to give us a call, 410-702-5657, or you can text us at 443-642-9403 to give us your opinion on any of the topics that we're speaking on today. And I definitely want you all to join in celebrating this day with me. I love Fantasia, and I'm just celebrating. Today's topic is actually taken from one of her songs, No Time For It. And I want to touch more on that topic and what I have no time for in the future. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Don't forget to tune in. We're broadcasting live on YouTube. So go to BeExposedRadio.com and click on the YouTube, and you'll be able to see us or hear us. Or go to YouTube and click on at Be Exposed Radio, and you'll see the live show that's up right now. Do it. Go ahead. I dare you. We'll be right back.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to get yourself noticed? Well then, why not sponsor us? There are lots of different options to choose from commercial spots and on-air shout-outs to interviews and even putting your logo on our website. Don't miss these great opportunities to get noticed. Check out our sponsorship packages on our Facebook page or on our website, BeExposedRadio.com.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
So, Jacqueline. Yes, Mom? I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Okay, so just type the job website address here. That's it. Then you enter what job you're looking for there.
Electrician.
This is Peter. Recently, he got help going on the internet for the first time to look for a new job.
Okay, then you just hit search and...
In the past, Peter's gotten work through people he knew, but he heard there were more jobs online.
There we go.
These are all for me?
Uh-huh.
Really?
He had no idea just how many.
I can't believe it. This one looks good.
Peter is thinking the internet might be for him after all.
And this is just one website.
Wow. Why didn't I do this sooner?
See what the internet can help you do at everyoneon.org or call 1-855-387-9166 to find a free training class near you. Brought to you by Connect to Compete and the Ad Council.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And it's like an Italian store, restaurant. If you go down that road, that leads you to Westport. Westport is like a few blocks wide. And once you cross the bridge, you're in Cherry Hill.
Oh, okay.
It's just that close to you. So welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. That song, that instrumental you just heard is When I See You, one of her first albums, from her first album. I think it's her second video she ever did. I'm just a fan. It's Fantasia Day here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show. This segment, we're going to talk a little bit more about, get into more of what Michelle was talking about, which was she brought up a point of waking up or going to sleep in a house that were built by slaves. Bill O'Reilly took that and ran with it and tried to become somebody's history teacher. And that immediately took me back to my one day of Black history in high school, where my English teacher, you might as well have called him an English teacher because you can clearly tell he knew nothing about history. But he spoke on slavery, and his message was, me and one other Black person in the room, slavery was not as bad as people thought it was. They did not treat their slaves as people thought they had treated them. He went on to say, would you beat up on your farm equipment?
I really
right.
I am not bothered to listen to it because I already know how Bill gets.
Well, we about to listen to it.
Oh, I can't.
Did you have that clip? Yeah, we about to take a listen.
Finally tonight, factor tip of the day. As we mentioned, Talking Points memo, Michelle Obama referenced slaves building the White House and referring to the evolution of America in a positive way. It was a positive comment. The history behind her remark is fascinating. George Washington selected the site in 1791 and his president laid the cornerstone in 1792. Washington was then running the country out of Philadelphia. Slaves did participate in the construction of the White House. Records show about 400 payments made to slave masters between 795 and 1801. In addition, free Blacks, whites, and immigrants also worked on the massive building. There were no illegal immigrants at that time. If you could make it here, you could stay here. In 1800, President John Adams took up residence in what was then called the Executive Mansion. It was only later on they named it the White House. But Adams was in there with Abigail, and they were still hammering nails. The construction was still going on. Slaves that worked there were well fed and had decent lodgings provided by the government, which stopped hiring slave labor in 1802. However, the feds did not forbid subcontractors from using slave labor. So Michelle Obama is essentially correct in citing slaves as builders of the White House, but there were others working as well. Got it all? There will be a quiz. Just put the quiz, and I'll come to your mailbox. Factor tip of the day.
That was Bill O'Reilly's tip of the day. And when I tell you, it's not that I'm not angry at him for feeling the way he feels, but he really believes that. And I'm going to tell you why he believes it, because the history teacher that I had in high school, I'll never forget, that was 10th grade year. That one day, of history I had at Archbishop Curley, that is basically the knowledge that I was fed. Now, mind you, had I not known better prior to that, or had no basis in Black history, I would have been like, oh, wow, maybe they did not. And this is what they're taught. We are overacting in our
description
of what slavery was and what was to be for slavery. And I don't have any other explanation for this other than we need Black parents. You need to go to PTA meetings. You need to fight harder for what your children are being force-fed in these history books. Open up one of your children's books, if they even bring home textbooks anymore. Open them up and realize what they're being taught, or rather what they're not being taught.
What's missing?
This is what they are being taught, that slavery was not what it was. We were well fed and well paid. What he failed to tell you was, we were paid via our slave owners.
Who wasn't giving you
wasn't giving you anything. And we stayed in the same shacks on top of each other as they would have been on a plantation. And most of the slave owners who allowed their slaves to be a part of that project were probably in debt. We have many accounts in history where slave owners would subcontract their slaves out because of the debt that they had. And to offset some of that debt, or to be forgiven or paid for, help to pay down some of that debt, they often subcontracted their slaves to other farmers, other slave owners, businesses, so on and so forth, this crazy stuff. But for I'm not shocked at Bill O'Reilly. I'm not surprised at this ideal that he has implanted in his head. And
please, because Bill O'Reilly would be happy to have slaves and consider himself one of the good slave masters, because his slaves sleep on real beds with real sheets.
They not real. It's not real. But just know, when you send your children to these private schools, these charter schools, these religious schools, in most cases, if it's not a healthy, diverse population, if they're not a progressive school, that is what your child is learning. And I went to a very nice high school with a very nice curriculum, but that was the history lesson that I taught. That slaves were not beat as harshly as we assumed they were. Why would you damage your farm equipment?
Because you can just go get more.
Yeah.
And you're breeding more on breeding farms that exist.
And I've never had detention.
One of the things that bothers me the most about Bill O'Reilly is that Bill O'Reilly does not invite anybody on his show to contradict anything he says that has any intelligence.
Why would he?
You cannot listen to somebody who thinks that I'm sorry, Bill O'Reilly claims he's a Christian, and one of the things the Bible says is lean not to your own understanding. So he's breaking the rules.
As they always have. And they've used Christianity to be this force field to protect their way of thinking. And that is something that I've always had an issue with a lot of, I'm not surprised at him, and I just gave him 2 minutes of my time. But we'll be back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to get yourself noticed? Well then, why not sponsor us? There are lots of different options to choose from commercial spots and on-air shoutouts to interviews and even putting your logo on our website. Don't miss these great opportunities to get noticed. Check out our sponsorship packages on our Facebook page or on our website, BeExposedRadio.com. What's going on, everybody? This is Brett, the 2016 intern here at Be Exposed Radio. I'm here to announce that the young and talented new artist Chink just dropped her new mixtape, Purple Potion, which is now available on Spinrilla and SoundCloud. If you haven't listened to it already, definitely be sure to check it out. And while you're at it, be sure to follow Chink on Instagram at Chink_OTR, and to check out True to You Entertainment's website, truetoyouentertainment.weebly.com.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
This forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Yeah, hon? Steven, what is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I'm just saying, it's Fantasia Day here on the Artist Exchange. Just to balance out all the crazy that we're talking about. The next clip that we're going to play is actually the press conference of Marilyn Mosby. They thought it was going to be her surrendering speech, but it had so much in it. It was so loaded and so directed towards the men in blue. And she really let us know, I'm not against the police department. I'm against crooked cops. And because of this trial, it has helped so much now. Now they have to lock prisoners in. They can't just throw them in the paddy wagon. They actually have to secure them and get them safely to the destination. So this is a clip of Marilyn Mosby's news conference on the other day. Yes.
Thank you all for being here. Today, Baltimore finds itself at the epicenter of a national conflict between urban and rural populations of color and the law enforcement agencies that are sworn to protect and serve them. It is a struggle that strikes at the basic ideas of self-determination, justice, equality, and sadly, humanity in America. However fitting it is for observers to use the untimely death of Freddie Carlos Gray Jr. as a barometer of our nation's progress on police brutality, my professional role in this matter is plain: to seek justice on behalf of an innocent 25-year-old man who was unreasonably taken into custody after fleeing in his neighborhood, which just happens to be a high crime neighborhood, and had his spine partially severed in the back of a Baltimore police wagon. As the chief prosecutor for Baltimore City, I took an oath to uphold justice and to treat every individual within my jurisdiction equally and fairly under the law. I take my oath very seriously. Since the start of my administration, we have been and continue to be wholly committed to creating a fair and equitable justice system for all and holding people accountable for crimes that they commit regardless of age, race, color, sex, creed, socioeconomic status, or in this case, occupation. As a chief prosecutor elected by the people of Baltimore City, I made a promise that my prosecutors and I will never cower from our obligation to prosecute crimes where we believe that we have probable cause that a crime was committed. We're sworn to not only uphold the law and hold violent repeat offenders accountable, but we're also sworn to apply justice fairly and equally to everyone, even those that take an oath to protect and serve our communities. As prosecutors, we are servants of all victims and witnesses of crime in Baltimore City, and we fight each and every day to ensure that perpetrators of crime see their day in court and are held accountable for their actions or inactions where there's a relational duty that requires such. We never cowered in our battle for justice for 16-year-old Felicia Barnes, 1-year-old Carter Scott, bicyclist and loving father Thomas Palermo, or Shatia Lansdowne and the various other sexual assault survivors of Nelson Clefford. As I previously stated, the decision to prosecute 6 police officers was not and has never been an indictment on the entire Baltimore Police Department. Although some have tried to invalidate my family's longstanding service as public officers, I know firsthand the sacrifices, the dedication, the commitment it takes to protect and serve our communities. For those that believe that I'm anti-police, it's simply not the case. I'm anti-police brutality. And I need not remind you that the only loss and the greatest loss in all of this was that of Freddie Gray's life. For over a year, my office has been forced to remain silent on all 6 of the cases pertaining to and surrounding the death of Freddie Gray. Despite being physically and professionally threatened, mocked, ridiculed, harassed, and even sued, we've respected and fulfilled our obligation in dutiful silence in accordance with Judge Barry Williams' gag order, restricting any commentary from the state. In accordance with my oath to pursue justice over convictions, I've refused to allow the grandstanding of some and the hyperbole of others to diminish our resolve to seek justice on behalf of this young man. I was elected the prosecutor. I signed up for this and I can take it. Because no matter how problematic and troublesome it has been for my office, my prosecutors, my family, and me personally, it pales in comparison to what mothers and fathers all across this country, specifically Freddie Gray's mother, Gloria Darden, or Richard Shipley, Freddie Gray's stepfather, goes through on a daily basis, knowing their son's mere decision to run from the police proved to be a lethal one. Please know that even though the media has made this about everything but the untimely death of your son, my office has never wavered in our commitment to seeking justice on his behalf. My team of prosecutors, led by 2 highly respected veteran attorneys, Chief Deputy Michael Schatzow, Deputy State's Attorney Janice Bledsoe, right here, and Assistant State's Attorney John Butler, Matt Pillion, Sarah Akhtar, Law Clerk Michael Fiorenza have devoted countless hours and made countless sacrifices to ensure accountability on your son's behalf. I'm extremely proud of my team who never lost sight of why we were fighting so hard, your son. As the world has witnessed over the past 14 months, the prosecution of on-duty police officers in this country is unsurprisingly rare and blatantly fraught with systemic and inherent complications. Yes, it is. Unlike with other cases where prosecutors work closely with the police to investigate what actually occurred, what we realized very early on in this case was that police investigating police, whether they're friends or merely their colleagues, was problematic. That's right. There was a reluctance and an obvious bias that was consistently exemplified not by the entire Baltimore Police Department, but by individuals within the Baltimore Police Department at every stage of the investigation, which became blatantly apparent in the subsequent trials. Although Commissioner Davis was and has been extremely accommodating, there were individual police officers that were witnesses to the case, yet were part of the investigative team. Interrogations that were conducted without asking the most poignant questions. Lead detectives that were completely uncooperative and started a counter-investigation to disprove the state's case by not executing search warrants pertaining to text messages among the police officers involved in the case, creating videos to disprove the state's case without our knowledge, creating notes that were drafted after the case was launched to contradict the medical examiner's conclusion, turning these notes over to defense attorneys months prior to turning them over to the state, and yet doing it in the middle of trial. As you can see, whether investigating, interrogating, testifying, cooperating, or even complying with the state, we've all bore witness to an inherent bias that is a direct result of when police police themselves. And despite the challenges of not having an independent investigatory agency to work with us throughout this prosecute, we still are grateful for the opportunity to show the world the reality of the justice system from start to finish. At every step of the way, due process was afforded all of these officers, and the legitimacy of our prosecution efforts were affirmed time and time again. They were affirmed when the court commissioner signed off on the charges that we filed. They were yet again affirmed when we presented our case before a grand jury and secured indictments against all 6 officers in every charge that we presented to them. Our legal arguments, theories, strategies were affirmed not only in 135 motions in which we successfully overcame, but also in the state's highest court, where we battled and ultimately prevailed in compelling the officers to testify against each other. The legitimacy of these charges were even affirmed by the judge after he rejected 13 motions for dismissal and denied 22 motions for judgment of acquittal throughout all 4 trials. As prosecutors, we are ministers of justice, and it is our ethical obligation to always seek justice over convictions. As prosecutors, we do not determine guilt or innocence of individuals, but rather present evidence to a judge or a jury to make that determination. In these cases, my prosecutors presented a great deal of evidence to support the charges alleged. And although we came close to convicting one of the officers when his case was tried before 12 Baltimore City residents, the judge, who is within his right, has made it clear that he doesn't agree with the state's theory of the case and does not believe that any of the actions or inactions of these officers rise to the level of criminality. The judge has acquitted 3 of these officers, one of the arresting officers, the wagon driver, the highest ranking police officer in these matters. In light of these consistent outcomes, the likelihood of the remaining defendant's decision to elect a bench trial with this very same judge is highly probable, and unfortunately, so is the outcome. And while to this day, we stand by the decisions, the legal theories, the charges, and assertions set forth in the statement of probable cause and during these proceedings, as officers of the court, we must respect the verdicts rendered by the judge regarding the ultimate culpability of the adjudicated officers involving Freddie Gray's death as final, no matter how much we may disagree with his rulings. We do not believe that Freddie Gray killed himself. We stand by the medical examiner's determination that Freddie Gray's death was a homicide. However, after much thought and prayer, it has become clear to me that without being able to work with an independent investigatory agency from the very start, without having a say in the election of whether our cases proceed in front of a judge or a jury, without communal oversight of policing in this community, without real substantive reforms to the current criminal justice system, we could try this case 100 times and cases just like it, and we would still end up with the same result. Accordingly, I have decided not to proceed on the cases against Officer Garrett, Sergeant Alicia White, or to relitigate the case against William Porter. As a mother, the decision not to proceed on these trials, on the remaining trials, is agonizing. However, as a chief prosecutor elected by the citizens of Baltimore, I must consider the dismal likelihood of conviction at this point, the judicial economy in proceeding further, and the divisive impact that continuing this prosecution could potentially have on our community. What I've ultimately learned throughout this arduous process is that although no small task, justice is always worth the price paid for its pursuit. You see, in spite of the fact that the verdicts didn't go in our favor, there have been many gains throughout this journey to ensure that what happened to Freddie Gray never happens to another person that comes into contact with police, justifiably or unjustifiably again. Never again should there be a question as to why someone is being stopped, detained, or arrested due to the fact that there will now soon be full implementation of body-worn cameras on all officers. Never again should someone be placed unsecured and defenseless in a metal wagon head first, feet shackled and handcuffed. Due to the fact that officers are now required to secure and seatbelt all prisoners. Never again should there be a need to rely on circumstantial evidence to observe what takes place inside police wagons due to the fact that cameras are now equipped in every one of them. Never again should an officer ignore or neglect a prisoner's request for medical attention to no avail due to the fact that it is now mandatory for officers to call a medic when requested. Never again should a commanding officer or a rank and file officer be able to assert that they are unaware of departmental policies, general orders, or procedures due to the fact that there is now a software verification and accountability system to ensure their adherence. Never again should an officer exhibit a blatant or reckless disregard for human life due to the fact that there are now use of force policies that emphasize the sanctity of life, accentuates de-escalation, and requires that officers intervene if fellow officers cross the line. You see, what I've learned through this experience is that every battle, every hurdle, every obstacle that we've overcome since the pursuit of these cases has brought us one step closer to equality. And that any and every step towards equality in our justice system is well worth fighting for. This system is in need of reform. And when it comes to police accountability, and as long as I'm the chief prosecutor for this city, I vow to you that my office and I will fight. We will fight for a fair and equitable justice system for all, so that whatever happened to Freddie Gray never happens to another person in this community again. Thank you.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now. Join the club that gives you stuff.
Hey, thanks!
Radio Loyalty.
Here's how it works.
Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right? Radio Loyalty. Click that banner to join now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
up. That was Hood Boy, because Fantasia like hood. That was another one from her first album. And if you just tuning in, today is Fantasia Day. She's dropping her new album tonight, or today. It's dropped now, open now. I'm a big fan of Fantasia. Um, you have to, if you don't like her, if you just don't, you have to admit she has definitely done an entire 360 and has really it's all, and she speaks about the team around her, the individuals around her, and making sure all of that is in place, intact.
People will bring you down in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
people will pay you 5 cents fare all the way to nowhere.
If you have the wrong individuals around you, it can make the difference between success and failure. And she talks a lot about realizing that, being told that from a young age, doing her own thing still, and then running into those problems as an adult, as this new stardom hit her, and then having people like a Oprah, and she's so blessed to have, not to say that they know any more than her mom and grandmother knew, but they know specifically about this industry.
Right.
And she's been able to be mentored by a lot of them, and I'm just so happy for her. I remember watching her on American Idol and watching this evolution. Very talented. She's one of those, she's what they would call a singer. She can definitely sing, but she has her own way, and I like how the growth has happened. I'm not going to get too much on that Marilyn Mosby, because it's just a lot that goes into it, and we can always be angry at individuals for not doing what we think they should have done for us. But we ourselves, those 3 fingers pointing back, what did you do to improve the situation or the problem, or how did you de-escalate this, or how did you go hard for us? We hear a lot of commentators, both in the media and these new journalists, that because you have a cell phone, you now a journalist, and I really think you should read more and research more and realize, just because they put a black person in charge of something does not mean that that black person is going to have any more power than we had when it wasn't a black person in that position. And just knowing, I mean, the man in charge of the police department, a black man, disrespected, right? But disrespected this woman and the job that she does. And it's not always, a lot of politicians go into this arena for the right reasons. It's just they're met with so much adversity, and then the temptation is always there. But if you take this bribe, it's just a little bribe. It's a little bribe. It's little. It's not gonna hurt anybody.
Always starts out little.
Right, and you become dependent upon it. And now somebody can bribe you because you took it the first time. So just realize, just like everybody in the police department isn't crooked, everybody in politics isn't crooked, but you have to work alongside. Just like if you send your child to school, I can't expect
they're not magic.
Right. This teacher not going to give my child everything that they need. I still need to reinforce the things that teacher taught them. And I still need to infuse what I want them to learn.
What the teachers teach them. Right. Because you may have them in a classroom with somebody you don't like any of the things they're teaching them. Then you got to put in extra work to make sure none of that crap sticks.
Right. Because you just picked the school because it was down the street from your job or up the street from your house. And you needed the break. I need them away from me. And that's the results of what your child will learn. As what you put into it is what your child will get out of it. And that's the sad part. But definitely vote, research the people who are on the ballot. Know that Marilyn Mosby can't be just fired. Know these things before you just jump out there with your hate speech, because she wasn't able to do the things that are desires on your heart. Doesn't mean she wasn't doing her job. It just means that you need to work harder to make her job easier, even though she's getting paid more than most people in the city government. But if you don't think she deserves it, won't you run for that? Won't you do that?
Hey.
But we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back. We're actually going to do a reading. We're going to surprise you. You come back. We got sound effects and everything. When we return to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. beexposedradio.com.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on beexposedradio.com.
Joining us right now is Mr. Antonio Long. He was one of our first See Baltimore artists. That tour is actually under construction, and we're doing some revamping and making sure the foundation is solid.
Yes.
So we haven't forgotten about it. So December, we kind of took a pause, and we'll be back up and running in January. My mind is gone. Food. I need food. If you're in the downtown Baltimore area and you have a cheeseburger in your hand, definitely stop past the studio. Give me a call and let me know where you are, and I'll meet you wherever you are. But Antonio Long is joining us in the building. He's a singer, inspirational, not necessarily gospel, not necessarily R&B, but encompassed of both of them. Yeah. So let us know a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Singer, writer, recording artist. And I just like to make good music.
There we go.
From Baltimore.
So possibly we'll hear a little bit of it if he's not afraid, because we throw people under the bus.
Yeah.
Talent-wise.
No doubt.
On this show. We got to see if you got the chops to sink or swim.
Okay.
We do it. We don't hold back here. We don't hold back here. But we'll definitely try to hear from him a couple more segments. So let us know about your music. So do you have an EP coming out, or is it one in the making?
I just released the EP actually October 28th.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Life. Yeah.
So what was it like making that?
It was fun. This is my first it's 8 songs on the project. Okay. So it's kind of a little more lengthy than your typical EP. But I put out a mixtape last year, but this is my first official project. Okay. Everything else has been singles. So
you're singing your own music now?
I'm singing my own music.
Did you write it?
All original music. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was fun. The creative process was fun. I worked with Junior Lee.
Okay.
With Faith Junkie Productions. He's based out of Delaware.
Okay.
And it was fun. I was going up there. 2-3 times.
It was business because it's your money on the line.
Definitely.
Right.
No major labels.
Yeah. No doubt. It was fun. It gave me. It's more work than what I expected. Honestly. Because
you're doing a bunch of different. You're writing and the performer in it, so that's 2 big jobs right there.
Yeah, it was definitely, but creatively, it was great. It was great collaborations. I also worked with Anthony Johnson. He produced a song off of the EP. He's from Virginia, and I worked with So For Real Productions.
You deal with some legit individuals. Okay.
Yeah. So.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on Be Exposed.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on beexposedradio.com.
How did you know that this is what you wanted to do as far as being a singer or entertainer?
It's always been in me. It's always been a part of who I am since a child. Since a child, I've always gotten karaoke boxes, and I've always learned this song and solos in school and all of those things. And I met my Reflections actually in high school, and we were singing and we were singing back then, choral music.
Douglas High School.
Yes, quick, come on through here. So
2 G's in a day pass.
Okay, 2 G's in a bus pass, baby. It used to be, of course. It was destined. I feel like it was destined. My whole family sings. Everyone in my circle sings. This is like I just couldn't get away from it. I'm always gonna sing.
Where did your personality come from? Are you always this crazy?
Yes.
Yes, crazy.
Right? I woke up like this.
Okay.
And went to sleep like it too.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on beexposedradio.com.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show.
Focus on the word take for a moment.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. When I begin to just, think about take When you taking something. Yes, we think about, the possession and grab and hold, but when you taking something on, you're capturing it, you're securing it, and you become impregnated with that.
Wow.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
It's like a Uber. That's how simple it is.
Yeah.
Welcome back. That was collard greens and cornbread that you were listening to. Fantasia Day at the Artist Exchange. I don't know. I don't really support many artists on the level that I support Fantasia, but hey, that's my prerogative. So let me put my glasses on for a second so I can actually see the screen. But we're going to be reading a play that we actually just performed at the Actors Playground entitled Midnight by Kyle A. Jackson. He's an interesting writer because he likes to use individuals that are not mainstream and not considered mainstream to prove his points. Because that's what Kyle really doing when he writing, proving points. He thinks he's slick. So me and Amma, we're doing this piece. We're actually going to do this piece on the 20th.
Yes.
At this outdoor festival. I feel a little bit, more comfortable because it's not like out yonder somewhere.
No, it's just an hour's drive. It's right up there in Towson.
There we go.
Towson.
There we go. But we're going to just go right into it. I'll read the intro and then we'll jump right into it. A man sits on a park bench late at night in the dark. The only light is from a moon. He appears to be waiting, but is cautious. He sits and begins to check his phone. A woman in a black hood coat walks up slowly, cautiously as well.
Excuse me.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
It's okay. What are you doing out here this late?
Well, I was going to ask you the same thing.
I'm waiting on someone.
So am I.
You're waiting for someone in the park this late?
Is that strange?
Yes.
Well, wouldn't that mean you were strange as well?
It's different for me.
Why?
It just is.
Why? Because you a man.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. My ex-husband used to use it as his answer for everything. I would ask him why he did something, then he would say, because I'm a man.
Oh, really?
Yes. That's what he told me when I caught him cheating on me. I asked him, how could you do something like that to me? And he said, because I'm a man. Bastard didn't even show any remorse.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. Men are supposed to be rough and tough and brave, but they're not. Sure, they act like it, but you know what I see when I look at a man? I see bunnies. That's right. Soft little bunnies.
I never thought about it that way.
Because you're a man.
Right. So are you meeting your person here, like right here in this very spot?
Yes.
What are the odds
of us planning a meeting? Of us planning to meet someone in the same spot?
Yes.
Oh my God! What if we're waiting for the same person,
lady? Trust me, we are not waiting for the same person.
Oh, well, who are you meeting?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
Okay, but if I promise to tell you who I'm waiting for, will you find somewhere else to wait and leave me alone?
Well, I can promise to leave you alone, but I can't promise that I'll be able to find somewhere else to wait.
God, why?
Well, How am I supposed to tell the person that's coming to meet me that I won't be in the spot that they expected me to be in?
Call them.
Well, what if they don't have a cell phone?
Who doesn't have a cell phone nowadays?
Well, I'm not saying that the person absolutely doesn't have a phone. I'm just saying, what if they didn't have a phone?
Does the person have a phone or not?
Yes, but I'm sure they won't answer.
Why wouldn't they answer?
They never answer the phone.
That's unfortunate, but I really would appreciate if you would find somewhere else another spot.
I can't.
Jesus.
Why can't you call your person and tell them to meet you somewhere else?
I'm not doing that. This is the perfect place for us to meet.
It's dark, secluded. Who are you meeting?
Why?
Is it a guy?
Yes.
I knew it! I can smell it all over you. I hope you ain't think it was a secret.
I'm not in the closet.
Oh.
He is.
Oh.
There you go. Look, you got your answer. Now, can you leave? If he sees someone here, especially a woman, he'll leave.
I'm not leaving. Absolutely not. I'm supposed to mess up my plans just so you can have your little secret sexcapade.
It's not a sexcapade. It's more than that.
Love.
I'm in love with him.
Love. Honey, I don't think love would have you shivering on a cold park bench at midnight on a Thursday.
Who are you waiting for?
No one.
No one?
No one. Nope. I didn't have anything better to do.
Are you serious? You just walked up to a total stranger in a dark park after midnight just because you had nothing else better to do? You're insane.
I could be.
You are.
I could be, but I'm not.
Why are you doing this?
I just told you I don't have anything better to do.
He's going to leave because of you.
Please. He's not coming at all.
What do you mean? Who are you? Do you know him?
No. I'm just very familiar with how men operate. Even the gay ones.
What? What are you talking about?
How long have you been here?
Not long.
You lying? He told he'd meet you at 11:30, and when I bumped into you, it was 10 minutes after 12. He was supposed to meet you nearly 45 minutes ago.
How do you know what time he was supposed to meet
I know men.
Are you his wife?
He's married?
I don't know. He won't tell me.
He won't tell you whether or not he's married. And he stood you up on a park bench at midnight. But you're in love.
Well,
You've never even met him. This is your first time meeting him. See, I see right through you.
It sounds stupid.
Very.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I understand. Here. Now, you feel better?
Yes, actually, I feel much better.
Crying always does the trick. It hurts when you love a man and you realize he doesn't love you back.
Yes, it does.
I had a brother who was just like you. He trusted people too much and got his heart broken.
Where is he now?
He's dead.
I'm sorry.
I'm okay.
How did he die?
Suicide.
Oh, wow.
My brother was like you. He was gay and he was in love and he had his heart broken many times. And he couldn't figure out what was so uncaptivating about him. He spent days telling I spent days telling him that he was the absolute best man in the world. And someday he would make the perfect mate for somebody. I went so far as to even set him up on dates and he wouldn't go. He was always scared that somebody wouldn't like him enough or that someone would find him absolutely repulsive and not even give him a chance once they laid eyes on him. Then he met a guy online one day. Spent hours telling me about how charming and sophisticated and intelligent this guy was. There was something about him that was just alluring. And my brother just couldn't let go of this guy. And they were so in love for 6 months until, for some reason, the guy just decided that my brother wasn't good enough for him. Can you believe that? My brother, who's the sweetest, kindest, most caring person to walk the fucking earth, was not good enough for this useless bum. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get emotional when I think about it. I mean, anyone would. If they'd walked in and found their brother dead with an empty bottle of aspirin and a needle in his arm.
Oh my God. You know, it's crazy that we seem to be the same age, but you've gone through so much already. And you seem so
much older than I really am. I get that a lot.
I wish I could call him.
Why can't you? Do you have his number?
Yes, but he told me that he had made a mistake in giving it to me and made me promise not to ever call unless he called me. He told me that he would stop talking to me and change his number if I ever did that to him.
Man, he really had you by the balls. He left you out in the cold, never called you, and forbade you to ever call him. And you've never met him. Now, what kind of shit is that?
I feel so stupid.
Oh, well, don't feel stupid. Let's call him. Give him a piece of your mind. It'll make you feel better.
I don't feel like it. He probably won't answer anyway, and I'm getting really tired for some reason.
Probably because it's after midnight. You've been up all this time waiting on him, freezing your balls off in the park. He owes you an explanation.
You may be right, but I don't think.
What?
I'm getting very woozy. I feel like I could fall asleep right on this bench.
Bullshit. Give me the phone. He owes you an explanation.
Please.
What's his name?
Eddie.
Eddie, let's call Eddie. Oh, you really don't pay attention, do you? I told you I would have on a black hooded coat. Surprise. It's me, baby. Oh, no. Don't worry about getting up. The tissue I gave you was coated with antihistamines and a mix of different neuromuscular blockers. First, it makes you sleepy, and then you're unable to move a muscle. You're in a daze right now, and that's how I want you. You're not sure if this is reality, are you? It is. Have you realized what's going on yet? Why won't you answer me? That's right. You can't. If my little brother were alive, I wonder how he'd feel about me meeting his one true love in the park after midnight. I wonder how he would feel to see the man who made him ram a fucking needle in his arm paralyzed. I wonder how he would feel when he found out what I plan to do to the only man he ever loved. Did I mention I was in medical school? A few years ago, I was put out for threatening my professor. He was going to fail me, and I threatened to cut off his balls. I always wondered how it would feel to actually do it. Cut off someone's balls. I love to experiment.
She turns her back to the audience to face him with the weapon in her hand. Lights out. That was Midnight by Kyle A. Jackson.
Yes.
He wrote this for a festival at the Chesapeake Center out in Glen Burnie. And it is turned into a piece that myself, and I'm sure Alma, is forcing him to elongate. Because I need more action. I need more drama. I find myself sitting on the bench for the rest of the scene, but I need more. And it's always felt like a flashback play to me. Like it starts at the beginning and then it takes you back. And us doing it, I swear that nod that I do at the end, my mind is always like, I wonder what would happen if, like, I just had these ideas of like, what would make somebody kill themselves? Like, what news would they have to get to make them kill themselves? And I've not getting personal, but it really it's a story I think anybody can relate to. There's a lot of people out here playing games with people's lives, and emotions. Like you don't.
There's that whole movement of waste his time. That whole hashtag waste his time movement, and then the girl got killed. People's time matters, and their feelings matter.
Yeah.
Feelings matter more than their time.
Yeah.
And if you set out to waste my time, you have now hurt me in two areas I cannot accept.
And when you include money into the mix,
right?
My time, my money, and my feelings. That's too much.
Bueno.
It's a lot. But that I love the play, and Kyle is working on expanding it and moving it. But we'll be taking it to this festival on the 20th, actually, of August. So definitely look out for us, and look out for this play, this playwright, these actors. If you have a job for us, we open, we available. We like rehearsal.
Amen.
Well,
I
Alma
love
does.
rehearsals.
Alma likes rehearsal. I like rehearsal. I need to stay on tasks. I need to stay on task.
I love to goof off.
Yeah. But we're gonna take another quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll do a little bit talk back on Midnight. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now. Free stuff for you just for listening to this station. Yeah, we got your attention? Here's how it works. You click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for cool stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple. Free stuff just for doing what you already do. Radio Loyalty. Click the banner to join now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome.
do that on the air.
Right. Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. Today was a day of hot topics. My salute to my homegirl in my head, Miss Fantasia. One day I'm going to meet Fantasia. And Riga tells me that I'm going to probably go, like, I'm a fan out. And I'm afraid. I'm very much so afraid. I had an opportunity one time to... Fantasia likes handmade stuff. And my niece's cousin used to work with Fantasia. Now, I didn't know this because I would have been hounded her. So I found this out on a humble, but she no longer works for Fantasia now, so it really doesn't matter. But so we were supposed to go down to Atlanta, and my niece's aunt make shoes. So Fantasia is not a surprise that Fantasia likes shoes, but she likes handmade stuff. She likes things that are unique. So we were supposed to go down to Atlanta. She called me maybe like 10 o'clock at night. We were supposed to catch a flight down to Atlanta and go meet Fantasia and show her what we do. Mm-hmm. I had some things that were similar to the shoes. Like, she made shoes that match my jewelry. Ooh. And Fantasia liked the shoes. Of course, I'm not going to say Shai's name. Said it. She flaked out on me, and I was livid. I was about to do, like, I was doing a summer camp that summer by myself, so it wasn't anybody I could call in to substitute for me or, like, take over for me. It was just me. So I was about to be like, look, y'all, I'm not going to be here for a couple of I don't know what you're gonna do with your children. Right. Like, how do you take a vacation doing somebody else's work vacation? So I really was devastated. So I just feel like it's going to be my time once again. I remember getting stars etched in my head. Like, it was like a mohawk, but it was like stars. And I dyed them purple. And I was going to go to when she came to the Heritage Festival one year, and I got sick. So I couldn't go because I was going to go to the stage and she was going to see me, and I was going to, like, instantly be her friend. And I had the earrings I was going to give her, and I got sick. So it was just, every time it was just something that happened. But I'm going to meet her one day, and that's going to be what it is. So in this last couple of minutes, this is our last segment here on the Artist Exchange. But don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Definitely don't forget Be Exposed Open House is August the 20th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Happy Hour will follow after at Rumba Tropical from 5 to 7 p.m. Also, we're planning a trip to Six Flags on August the 27th. It's a bus trip. It's $68, includes your entry into the park and your transportation there. And we have some special surprises that we can't really talk about right now. But if you want a ticket, definitely hit us up at 410-671-5483, or you can email us at info@beexposedradio.com. Put in the subject line, I want to go to Six Flags, and we're going to hook you up. Also, celebrating that first year anniversary was Weird Radio. This year they had an awesome event last Friday? Yes. We went to Holla at the Moon. Wasn't it? He's a bunch of party animals. Yes, and I'm not fuddy-duddy, but I have a bedtime.
We are partiers. Yeah, I have a party time.
I like
tapping out after when we are like we're coming to reaching what's it called,
the
critical
peak,
mass.
right.
You're like, nah, guys, I'm out.
I'm not going to leave. It's just, I'm more seduced. And I used to be a party animal, but I get tired easily. If I'm up at 12 o'clock, trust me, whatever I'm doing the next day is going to be rough. It's going to be a rough start. But we had fun there. Be Inspired is still planning their open house event. We can't throw out the date yet, but I think they're planning their 1-year anniversary as well. Be Inspired, Miss Naomi Burrell. And don't forget, we'll be live. Yeah, well, I haven't heard it, so we'll also be live broadcasting on at the Baltimore Fashion Week, August the 12th, 13th, and 14th. We'll be doing a special interview with a lot of the out-of-state designers for Baltimore Fashion Week on August the 13th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live at the War Memorial Building. So shout out to Sharon Nixon, who's probably still in her lair, slaving away, planning for their event. They're having a kickoff party next week. So definitely hit them up, Baltimore Fashion Week. Look them up and get some tickets. They're not selling anything at the door, so I don't know what to tell you. Be Exposed don't have clout like that, so we can't get you in the door. Right. So I suggest you get them tickets now, because Miss Sharon is not playing. She will be at the door to tell you no. So definitely get the tickets. They're moving fast. And also the African American Authors Expo at Morgan State University, hosted by Morgan State University, and Miss Patricia Johnson, the founder and organizer of it, will be October the 15th. Also October the 15th is the Educational Honors Awards. So definitely check that out. So there's a lot of things going on, but we're broadcasting in both of those events, so we'll be live in the building. So definitely check us out. If you can't get there, listen in, but get there, and you can get your live interview at the same time. But just shout out tomorrow's show. We'll have another designer on and an author on tomorrow. So definitely look out for the Artist Exchange Radio Show. The Curvy Ballerina, if you've heard of her, she'll be on next week. Telling us what she do. She might show you something, because we are on camera.
Yes, we are now, aren't we?
Right. People really love her in the Artist Exchange. She has a really nice following, but definitely tune in. She'll be here next weekend. We have another lineup of individuals. Send in your music, info at BeExposedRadio.com. We're looking for music to feature here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show. If you're looking for interesting and creative ways to market and brand your service, your business, your organization, your next upcoming event, play, production, what have you, definitely hit up the Artist Exchange. You can hit me up directly at the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. No, I didn't say that. I said the Artist Exchange Radio Show. I'm so used to saying them two together. The Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com. Hit me up directly if you're looking for interesting ways to sponsor or to have your business marketed or branded. We definitely can help you out with that. Call us. Our office hours 410-671-5483 from 10 a.m. to about 5. Hit us up. Let us know. So a lot of other events, a lot of other things going on, but definitely stay in tune. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram at the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Big Mama Ama.
What's up?
She's a definite social media Snapchatter,
I definitely am all over it, guys.
She's hooked. She needs therapy.
I will respond.
If you are a therapist that specializes in social media,
you're gonna like the response though.
Yeah, depending on what time of day, you might get a different response.
I'm real. Okay.
But we'll be right back tomorrow at 12 p.m. here live on BeExposedRadio.com.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many